Hey everybody, Tribe Nursing here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to study for pathophysiology. So if you are new to my channel, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe. Also, never miss another one of my videos again. All you have to do is hit the bell down below. And with all that being said, let's get started. So some things about pathophysiology that you should definitely know about, and some things that are extremely important for you to know about the course is that the content is extremely heavy, meaning your professor is going to throw a lot of content at you in very little time. So an advice I can give you is that you should try to chip away at that material every single day. Meaning you want to take that content little by little. You don't want to attack it all at once because it's going to become extremely overwhelming to you, and we don't want that to happen. Let's say if you go through a subject that day, make sure to cover that subject that same day because it's already fresh in your head and it's going to be way easier for you to take notes because your retention rate is already high because you already took the class the same day. So let's say if you leave all the content for the end of the week, now you got to a point where you are studying for last week's content that you're trying to remember. And then now by the time you get to the content that you covered at the end of the week, it's already going to be a week late. Meaning you haven't studied enough to that point, so now you're just cramming. So that's the worst thing that you can do in nursing school in general. Never cram for your exams. Always take your content day by day and always be prepared for the future. So you always should study that material the same day. And if you can't cover that material the same day, it's all right. Just cover it the next day so you are staying on top of your material. So the next thing I would say is to learn your study habits early. The reason why I say to learn your study habits early is because nursing school is such a fast-paced environment, meaning nursing school isn't going to wait for you to learn your study habits. So by you understanding how to learn early within the program, it gives you a better chance of success. So for example, at the beginning of my program, I had to learn how am I going to study, what's the best way. So what I did, I'm like, okay, let me stick to the note card method and let me use the whiteboard. And I stuck with that through the entire program. If you have any questions regarding how I studied in nursing school, I'll leave a link at the top of the video. Feel free to go back to that link and click on it so you can understand how I studied in nursing school specifically. So definitely know your study habits extremely early before going into pathophysiology, since pathophysiology is A&P heavy. And as a matter of fact, that goes to my next point. It is great to have a strong anatomy and physiology background. So prior to coming into nursing school, you most likely will have to take anatomy and physiology. So the reason why anatomy and physiology is so important is because in nursing school, you take pathophysiology, you take critical care, you take med-surg. So it is all based around anatomy and physiology. So my suggestion to you is to have a strong foundation of this class, meaning work extremely hard, understand the human body and understand how it works prior to coming into nursing school, although you will learn a lot more within the program. So don't stress out if you don't know that much, but as long as you have the foundations down of anatomy and physiology, you will be in a great position to be successful within pathophysiology and even your other nursing classes. Something else I can suggest to you is how I passed and did extremely well in pathophysiology is making a study template. If you don't know what a study template is, let me give you an example. So what you just saw is a study template. So after you've mastered everything else I explained to you, now you're ready to study for that patho. So by using that study template, you are able to break down the disease process in great order. So, for example, what you just witnessed, you saw that it breaks down the disease name, the diagnostics that go along with that disorder, and the treatment and how to actually treat the disorder, as well as the medical interventions that are involved. But lucky for you, I have that study sheet on my Etsy page. If you would like to own your own study template for pathophysiology, check out my Etsy page. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll also leave the URL down below. That template overall helped me so much to become successful within pathophysiology because it kept me organized and I understood how to break down each disorder, and it is such a great tool to use. So check it out. Another advice I can give you is knowing your professor. So what does that mean to understand and know who your professor is? Well, it's important to know your professor because you can understand his or her teaching style. If you understand his or her teaching style and understand how they can ask a question on an exam, it will give you that advantage when testing during pathophysiology. So let's say your professor mentions a topic more than once, that means they really want you to know that concept. Once you understand your professor's flow of teaching, it really does help you during your exams, because how I thought of it is that when I was taking pathophysiology and I was taking those exams, I had to ask myself, how would my professor answer this question? That was the way I answered pathophysiology exam questions. Understanding how your professor tests is so important within nursing school. Not even just for pathophysiology, but for every single class in general. So keep that in mind, guys. Know your professor's teaching style. It really does take you a long way. Another tip I can give you is do not memorize in pathophysiology. Let me repeat that again, guys. Do not memorize in pathophysiology. It will take you nowhere. The reason why I say this is because pathophysiology is a class in nursing school that you just cannot memorize in. So how do you pass pathophysiology, you ask? Well, you really need to understand the concept behind the disorder. Let me give you an example. Let's say a patient has coronary artery disease. In my mind, what do I think of with coronary artery disease? Well, the first thing I think of is the increase of atherosclerotic plaque. How does atherosclerotic plaque happen? Well, I know atherosclerotic plaque happens due to the buildup of that LDL cholesterol. Over time, how does it occur? Well, it occurs due to a bad fast food diet, poorly controlled diet, no exercise to help increase the HDL to lower the LDL. And I know the medical treatment, if it gets really bad, can be a stent placement or a cabbage. Understanding the concept of the disorder, for example, the one I just gave you, allows you to domino your way to understanding the main idea on how to treat that patient. With the example I just gave you, that is a way of dominoing, if that is even a word. So by dominoing the concept, it allows you to really grasp the material and allows you to perform high on those nursing exams, especially in pathophysiology. So by utilizing all those study techniques that I've just given you, it's important to understand the concept behind studying for this class, because pathophysiology is the core class before you take med-surg, and then after you take med-surg, you take critical care, or also known as med-surg 2. Med-surg and critical care are more advanced classes. By the time you get to med-surg, your pathophysiology has to be on point. You really need to understand the patho of the disorders in order to help actually treat the patient and help provide proper nursing care. So by understanding the pathophysiology, it really does help you in these higher level nursing classes that you will need to take further along in your program. So that is the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. If you found the video beneficial, make sure to share this video with your friends. And with all that being said, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and Tribe Nursing signing out.